Hey everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray shop, and today I've got a new process video for you. Today I'm going to be working with Brave Little Tailor's Print and Pray release called BeLeaf, and it is this gorgeous set of leaf ephemera with, this is so fun, her lettering in the leaf, and then some prompts and journaling cards and tabs and things like that. These are one of my favorite things that Taylor creates, and so I printed out 2 copies of this particular set. And not only is it beautiful, but it's a great resource. So she breaks down the Greek word believe for us, and then she has us go through the book of John. She talks about reading through the book of John thematically, looking for the theme of belief. And then in her little box here, she defines it for us, and I'll talk about that more in my process video, but I just wanted to give you a look at the set in its entirety first before I go ahead and write on it and type up my journaling cards and cut some leaves out and all that fun stuff. I think today, because I have just so many elements that I want to use, I'm going to work in my traveler's notebook. So I have this guy that I'll pull out of here. And sometimes when I have a little bit more to say or just want to switch up the format, I'll go ahead and create a page or a spread in here. And I think that's what I'm going to do today. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'll start by typing up my journaling on a couple of these cards. A friend and I are studying through the last half of Genesis together, and so I'm typing up some of the high points, specifically what I want to talk about in my spread today. I'm typing that up in this little notes card. Next, I'll go ahead and use my paper trimmer to trim out both cards. And then figure out where I want things to go in my traveler's notebook, as well as pull out a few additional supplies like a number stencil and the Gratitude Documented and Word Nerd stamp sets. So I'm just figuring out where things will look best, and I'll include some notes here about like lining things up and kind of my thought process for why I put things where. So I like to create like a visual triangle, so 3 clusters or 3 things happening. And so I'll do that with the journaling cards, but then also these leaves too. Next, I'm going to pick out some Neocolor II water-soluble crayons. These are just in coordinating colors. I went through my little jar there, as you could see, and picked out the more autumnal colors. And then using a baby wipe, I'm just going to swipe off some of the pigment and then pounce it down onto my page here. And then I'm going to use the Vermillion, the Salmon, and whatever orange color this is. We'll have it listed down in the video description below and in the blog post. And I just kind of pounced them on top of each other and blended them in a little bit. And I'm going to do this in 3 or 4 places on my spread just to bring in some additional color, because when I had the leaves and the cards on there, it was looking a little too stark for me. This is also a really great like low mess type situation. There's not much cleanup involved here because you can just toss the baby wipe. I'll go ahead and hit that with my heat tool. It's, you know, not soaking wet, but I just needed to be able to place my stickers and tape things down pretty quickly, so I helped speed up the drying process with my heating tool. And then I'll just remove the sticker release paper from each one of these guys, use my Illustrated Faith tape runner to get each card layered on top there. And you can see I'm fussing around with how these cards line up. I want to make sure that those 2 edges are not lining up. I want them to kind of intersect a little bit, and that's why I moved that top card over to the left. Same thing here with this big BeLeaf element and then that notes card. I wanted to make sure, like, I didn't want them to leave them like this because it's so bottom heavy. So I wanted to elevate that little BeLeaf element a little bit so they weren't sitting right next to each other and making it look super bottom heavy. So then I have a bunch of leaves hanging off the edge of my spread here, so I just flipped the page over and trimmed off that excess. Next, I'm going to go in with this really fun number stencil that's in the Illustrated Faith shop, and just note, you know, 1, 2, 3, the order of these of these cards. It's, you know, top, bottom, left to right, so it's pretty easy to figure out, but I really like the look of these. So I'm using my Word Nerd stamp set here, and I stamped out the phrase currently reading because I want to note which passages I'm referring to. So using an assortment of alphabet stickers and coordinating colors, I spelled out the word Genesis, and then I'll go back in with some number stickers to note which chapters I'm talking about. And then again, I traced a number 2 down onto the second box. I'm using another alpha sticker here to kind of preface a question I want to ask myself. And then you can see I'm just working kind of in order of where I want the eye to go in my spread. So adding again the Word Nerd stamps, the gratitude documented stamps, I added some journaling, those numbers from some older stickers, and then I want to work down at the bottom here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Studio Calico Mega Date Stamp to record the date, and then I'll take these Pink Fresh Puffy stickers and spell out the phrase "Live It," just to go along with my journaling and what the whole spread is about. I saw when Taylor was sharing her pages using her printables that she had pulled the Wildflower Kit washi tape, which goes so well with this release. So I did the same thing because I thought it looked great. So I tore off a piece and then tore it into just smaller portions and layered those underneath these journaling cards. So in this set, Taylor focuses on the definition of biblical belief, and in one of her Instagram posts sharing her latest set, she challenged us to examine if we are actually changed by what we say we believe. So, like I mentioned, a friend and I have been studying through Genesis together, starting with God's covenant with Abraham. And through Abraham's family tree, we see God interacting with his family and making promises to bless them. But time after time, several in Abe's family take matters into their own hands, and they orchestrate, manipulate, and strategize ways to obtain what's already been promised to them. So it begs the question, do they actually believe God will do what he says? Are they trusting in him and confident in his timing? And it doesn't seem like it based on how they act, and I quite honestly identify a lot with that. And so that's what this spread is, just working through that, stating specifically what I believe about God, and really thinking through some more difficult questions. So I would just really encourage you guys to check out Taylor's set BeLeaf. She is such a treasure to our community, and I so appreciate the work that she puts into the sets that she creates. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll have it linked down in the video description below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.